What is up, guys? Hypey99 here, and I know I've been bringing you guys a lot of build videos, but this is the most damage build video for group build that I'm going to show you guys, and it's basically a manhunt build with a lot of crit chance and a lot of crit damage, and you guys will see the gameplay after this build, and it's just really crazy how many manhunts we went on. But anyway, guys, we're going to start off with the build. So 6,000 firearms, 3,800 stam, and 5,000 electronics. The reason why you're running electronics obviously is just because when you run out of med kits, you'll obviously keep having your heals like got crazy, and you're just stacking a lot of skill haste on your build as much as you can, except for some parts which I will show you guys obviously because we'll get into it. But basically just a lot of crit chance and crit damage just because my healer has a lot of crit damage and crit chance on his pulse, which is insane. But we got the lightweight M4 here, guys, and it's just really good because the base damage is high, and that's why I like using it. And you guys see I have an MP5 as my secondary. But anyway, adept, responsive, and fierce. And try to get competent for fierce. Fierce isn't really the best. The only reason I got it is obviously because I had a shittier talent in the second slot, so I stuck with it. And it's not too bad. I mean, I guess you have 5% all the time. It just doesn't seem like a lot, but it is what it is, and it still does work really well. So I do recommend using that if you guys can't get adept or even a competent. Fierce is another good one. But anyway, we're going to be running crit damage mods on our guns, guys. So 19% here and 3% crit chance. It's just really crazy because I'll show you guys later how much crit chance I have and damage when we use the pulse and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm using a stability mod, and you guys can go for this more crit damage here, but the only reason I like stability is just because it helps me aim better, obviously, and I still have 4% crit damage, so you can go more and use that grip, but I just like using that stability. Obviously 4% on the mag because that's all you can get, and it's just really good mag size, 120% if you guys can get that. And the max rolls are, I'm pretty sure it's 3% and 4% there, and I'm pretty sure those are the max rolls, guys. But obviously 19% crit damage on the scope, and I don't know if it comes with crit chance or if you can get one with crit chance, but if you can, obviously go for that. But just try to stack as much crit damage as you can on your gun because you'll have a shit ton of stuff, like your talents and your shit will be like adept and fierce are all on your gun talents, so you don't really need crit chance on your guns. But anyway, obviously you see the MP5 here, adept, unforgiving, and competent, and I'm not going to show you guys my mods on there. It's all crit damage as well, obviously, just because you got adept there and comes with crit chance and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, obviously get a pistol. Any pistol with harmful doesn't matter. Probably not the golden rhino though, because it does suck, because I think it only has like 6 bullets and the recoil is just crazy. But anyway, guys, obviously a vigorous chest piece just because everybody's going to be having overheals with those booster shots. And when you have a healer in your squad, man, you're obviously going to want this just because his heals are crazy strong. And you want to have him using a booster shot instead of a overdose because it obviously comes back quicker and it just gives you more damage buff and damage resistance. But obviously you want to have skill, haste, and health. Those are the main rules. But if you guys can get, well, it doesn't really matter for this build, but if you can get ammo capacity just because, you don't want to run out of ammo when you're killing people and stuff like that. Obviously, Banshee mask here, really good armor roll. If you guys can, try to get burn resistance in the minor, but obviously get that skill power for the major just so your heals are way better. And obviously you can heal your teammates way better than what you can without skill power. And I think it does help a lot, but some people might say it now, but in my opinion, I think it does. Obviously, shock, burn resistance, if you can get bleed. These are pretty much god roll in a sense. Really good health, the electronics are really high, and the armor is really good as well. And shock's really the main one you want to get, guys, because obviously people are going to try to surprise you with those shock turrets and shock nades to go rogue on you, so that's what you're going to do for that. But we'll move on to obviously the Banshee pieces. So two-piece Banshee is 20% looted DZ funds, 3 is damage to 10% damage out of cover, which is really good actually. And obviously the 4-piece is while rogue, all ammo is completely refilled every 30 seconds, and damage taken is reduced by 10%, which is really crazy. And that's why I told you guys you probably don't really need ammo capacity if you guys are going rogue with this build, and that's all I do with this build. But obviously, while not rogue, damage to rogue players is increased by 10%, and obviously it's increased to 20 after you die for 10 minutes, which is really crazy. And obviously if I see rogues when I first come into the server and stuff like that, it's really good for that damage buff. And if I die, obviously you get that 20%, which is really good, and you just melt people way easier. So we're not going to be running specialized with this build, and I'll get to that in a minute, guys. But basically, really good armor roll here. Obviously you want to have health and ammo capacity, and if you don't have ammo capacity, you try to get bleed resistance because that's the next best thing. But usually you just want to get ammo capacity, obviously, because you're going to need a lot of ammo for going rogue and starting off like that. At least have 1 piece anyway with this Banshee build. That way you start off with a decent amount just in case you're killing AIs and stuff like that when you're not rogue. So go for that, guys. But we'll move on to the next piece, and that's Savage Gloves. And the reason why you want to have this, guys, is obviously that extra crit chance instead of Specialized. And you still have a really good heal besides the fact that you're losing, I think, 20,000 skill power from Specialized. But in a way, these gloves are God roll, crit chance, assault rifle damage, and skill haste, and a God roll of electronics, man, so that's why I'm using these. Obviously you want crit chance. You can go for crit damage as well, guys, if you really want to. It doesn't really matter because that pulse is just crazy, and we'll get onto that here in a sec after I show you guys the holster. But just really good gloves here, and obviously you want that extra crit chance so you can put people down faster. And then the gameplay, you obviously will see what happens when you guys get a lot of crit chance and crit damage. You don't really need to worry about base damage too much, and it's just really good to melt people down faster, and I really love it, guys. But the armor could be higher, and it is what it is, but if you can get a decent gloves, then definitely put that on. Obviously, Banshee holster here. If you can't get health, go for skill haste. And actually, I probably would have skill haste over health just because your heal comes back faster and you're not running a lot of health. But it's really personal preference. If you guys are getting melted, then go for health. And if obviously your heals don't come back fast enough, go for skill haste. But you guys can see I'm running skill haste mods. It's just really good for your heal because it comes back like crazy. And I'll show you guys the cooldown for that here in a minute. But my crit chance right now is 16.50%. My crit damage is 71%. Obviously that's not a lot of crit chance right now, but you got to add adept and savage and plus the pulse, and I'll get into that. But we'll go down to my skill haste here in a sec. Obviously my headshot damage is 87, but we'll go down to my skill haste, guys, and it is 33%. That's pretty good. I mean, I guess you can go for 40, but I think this is enough for me. But it really just depends, obviously, like if you're getting squishy and you just roll more health on whatever. But I just really think this is good because your heals come back real quick and all that kind of stuff, so that's why I go for that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to show you my pulse. So Wolf, my healer, runs a damage pulse, which is really crazy, and I'll show you guys here anyway. Now this is only mine, and I calculated this up, guys, with my stuff and my pulse. So with my pulse, I'm hitting 46% crit chance. I didn't calculate the crit damage, but if you get 46% crit chance with all the crit damage mods and stuff like that, it's just crazy. And Wolf has way more skill power than I do, so it's probably way over that. It's probably like 55 to 60% crit chance. But obviously you guys can see my heal comes back in 29 seconds, which is really good. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this build video. Sorry I'm making them kind of long, but I'm just trying to explain my builds a little bit more and stuff like that, and have some gameplay. And when you're going manhunt, you're probably going to have you know, a couple minutes of gameplay. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'm out, boys.
Luxury Beats. Luxray Beats.